Tonight, you fall asleep believing tomorrow will look like every other day. Messages left unseen, emails unanswered, clothes hanging half dry. Somewhere, a kettle turns itself off. A phone charges on 16%. Traffic lights blink through the night. And then, without warning, you are no longer there. Not just you. No one. No goodbyes. No global announcement. One moment, 8 billion minds are thinking about tomorrow. The next moment, every human is gone. The planet doesn't scream. There is no dramatic soundtrack. Only silence. Cars keep rolling for a few seconds without hands on the wheel, then drift into barriers. Planes continue on autopilot, guided by instructions recorded long ago by pilots who are no longer alive to correct them. Trains eventually break. Some crash. Some stop in tunnels no one will ever walk through again. Inside apartments, TVs keep playing for no one. News anchors discuss markets, politics, relationships, not knowing their own audience has disappeared. In hospitals, machines beep steadily, monitoring bodies that will never be checked again. The Earth, for the first time in hundreds of thousands of years, is a world without human witnesses. We like to think of ourselves as the main character of this planet. But in the second we vanish, nothing in the universe pauses to confirm whether that story was true. Within an hour, automated systems keep pretending humanity still exists. Streetlights turn off at sunrise. Coffee machines start in offices where no one will drink from them. Alarm clocks ring in empty apartments, vibrating on nightstands for no ears. But as the day unfolds, our absence becomes physical. Planes that were on long-haul flights eventually run out of fuel. Some manage to glide into oceans. Others fall into mountainsides, forests, deserts. No emergency response comes. No news alert. Only smoke rising into skies that do not care. In nuclear power plants, control rooms sit empty. For a while, safety systems designed by careful minds keep reactors stable. They were built for human error, not human extinction. Without maintenance, some shut down safely. Others begin a slow, dangerous path toward overheating. In cities, pets bark and meow behind locked doors. Some will manage to escape through windows, broken glass, or open balconies. Others won't. Our love for them was real, but the world without us is not designed for our animals. The ones that survive will become something else, something the word pet doesn't describe anymore. The internet remains alive as long as servers have power. For a while, your last post, your last video, your last message exists in a vast digital cemetery. No one scrolling, no one typing, just content, drifting in silence through cables and data centers powered by machines that do not know their owners are gone. The Earth continues to rotate. Clouds continue to form and break apart. Winds still race across oceans. Gravity still holds everything where it belongs. On this first day without humans, the planet doesn't collapse. Instead, something else begins. Earth starts remembering what it was without us. By the end of the first week, the illusion of control is over. Power stations that depended on constant human supervision start failing. Some run out of fuel. Some trip safety systems and shut down. The global grid becomes a patchwork of light and darkness, and then, mostly, darkness. From space, the bright web of city lights that once traced our ambition begins to fade. First in unstable regions, then in wealthy ones. Electricity doesn't care about borders. The night sky over your city turns darker than you have ever seen it. The Milky Way appears above the skyline, the same stars your ancestors saw thousands of years ago, before neon signs and lead billboards drowned them. Water stops flowing in many places. No one is maintaining pumps, repairing pipes, operating treatment plants. Taps that were once taken for granted become silent metal mouths. But life doesn't wait. In supermarkets, freezers thaw out. Food rots. Flies arrive, then maggots. Then bacteria spread through surfaces that were once cleaned daily with care and chemicals. In Zeus, some animals break free from weakened enclosures. Others remain trapped in ecosystems designed by us for our entertainment, not for their survival. A lion in European city is powerful, but also lost. It doesn't know migration routes, hunting grounds, seasonal patterns. We gave it a cage. We never taught it a map. In rural areas, farm animals wander out of fields they no longer recognize as home. Some form new herds. Many become prey. Meanwhile, nature begins to test our buildings. No cleaning, no repairs, no one to fix mundane damage. Windows start cracking under heat and cold. Water infiltrates roofs. Mold explores the corners of quiet rooms, like an invading army. Human absence is not a single event. It's a slow unraveling. Every day without us is another string pulled from the fabric we thought would hold forever. After 1 year, the Earth has begun editing our work. In many regions, roads are already breaking apart. Without constant maintenance, tiny cracks widen. Water seeps in, freezes in winter, expands and tears asphalt like paper. Grass and small plants take root in those fractures, patiently turning highways into long gray rivers of stone and green. Bridges, once icons of engineering, start to rust where paint has peeled off. Steel cables corrode particle by particle. Year after year, gravity becomes more persuasive than our pride. Forests expand into suburbs. Seeds carried by wind, birds, and storms find new spaces in our gardens, parks, and abandoned parking lots. Trees sprout between tiles. Roots dig under foundations, lifting concrete as easily as a child lifts a sheet of paper. In some cities, wild animals cautiously move in. Deer graze in front of office towers. Foxes raise their young in what used to be underground parking. Raccoons and monkeys break into homes, learning what human waste can offer. The climate continues to change, shaped not by our decision-making anymore, but by the long echo of the emissions we left behind. Storms grow stronger. Oceans continue to warm. Ice keeps melting. The atmosphere remembers us, even if the surface is starting to forget. Our monuments stand as confused questions. Statues of leaders, heroes, gods. No one left to worship. No one left to protest. Only birds resting on shoulders of stone and metal, dropping seeds that grow in the cracks of our certainty. We called ourselves rulers of the earth. 1 year after we vanish, it's clear. We were caretakers at best, vandals at worst, and temporary tenants either way. Our ghost infrastructure. 10 years after the last human heartbeat, the world is deeply unfamiliar to anyone who remembers us. Satellite dishes on rooftops are rusting, pointing at a sky that still beams signals no one decodes. Solar panels gather dust and pollen, their efficiency dropping year by year. Some still feed small pockets of the grid, powering empty buildings like glowing tombstones. Inside skyscrapers, glass starts to fail. Storms and temperature changes cause panels to crack and fall, one by one. On the ground, streets are littered with shards and fallen signs. Underground, the real transformation continues. Subway tunnels fill with water where pumps have stopped working. Trains stand silently, submerged in black pools, becoming artificial caves for blind fish and mushrooms that glow faintly in the dark. Concrete dams still hold rivers for now, but no one inspects them anymore. No one clears debris from spillways. Decades of pressure built behind some of them until the day they fail. When they do, Entire valleys reshape in hours, as if rewriting chapters of geography we thought were permanent. Radio waves keep traveling. Broadcast towers, if still powered, send out music. 100 years have passed. Not a lifetime. Not an eternity. Just enough time for almost every human memory to die. No one remembers cities. No one remembers borders. No one remembers names. The tallest buildings still stand in places once called capitals, but they are hollow now. Skins of glass stripped away by wind, storms, and time. Steel frames exposed like skeletons of something ancient and misunderstood. Roofs collapse first. Rain enters freely. Winter freezes the water inside concrete, cracking it slowly, silently. Entire neighborhoods sink into green. Trees grow where kitchens once were. Roots follow pipes underground, not knowing they are trespassing. Because trespassing no longer exists. Roads are still visible from above, thin gray scars beneath forests. But driveways are gone. Parking lots are meadows. Highways fracture into disconnected stone islands, no longer pretending to lead anywhere. Bridges suffer the longest. They were built to resist time, but not neglect. Rust eats from the inside out. Bolts loosen. Cables snap. One by one, they fall into rivers, which barely notice. Dams still hold in some valleys. In others, cracks widen unseen. When they fail, it is sudden. Walls of water reshape land within hours, doing what rivers were always meant to do. The cities are no longer cities. They are ecosystems. Foxes den in office towers. Birds nest inside traffic lights. Insects rule the lower floors. Fungi rule the dark. Large animals return cautiously at first, then confidently. Deer move through former shopping districts. Bears explore quiet suburbs. Wolves claim roads as migration paths, finding them easier to travel than dense forest. Radiation zones become strange sanctuaries. Places humans abandoned in fear become refuges precisely because no one else lives there. Life adapts, not because it is strong, but because it is patient. Plastic is still everywhere, broken into smaller and smaller pieces, spread into soil, water, bone. Even without humans, our materials continue to touch life, but the planet does not stop. It does not hate us. It does not honor us. 100 years after our disappearance, Earth does not remember who ruled it, only that something once tried. 10,000 years pass. Every spoken human language is gone. There is no word for city, no word for road, no memory of names. What remains of our world is difficult to recognize. Most buildings have collapsed completely. Steel frames rusted through. Concrete crumbled into gravel and dust. Only fragments remain. Foundations, platforms, unnatural shapes buried just beneath the soil. Forests grow where civilizations once competed. Trees rise over ancient streets. Roots split tunnels and drainways. Rivers flow freely again, uncontained, unbothered by lines humans once drew across maps. The tallest structures that remain are not homes. They are monuments of stubborn materials. Some bridges survive in pieces. Some dams leave scarred valleys behind. A few stone structures still stand, not because they were important, but because stone forgives time better than steel ever did. Oceans erase our coastlines. Ports collapse. Artificial harbors fill with sand. Entire cities sink below rising waters, becoming reefs for organisms that never knew we existed. Plastic remains, not as objects, as dust. Microplastics mix into soil, water, bone dye. They migrate through food chains long after the hands that created them vanished. Radiation fades. Even places once considered untouchable grow quiet. Wildlife adapts. Plants return cautiously, then confidently. There is no concept of danger anymore, only adaptation. Evolution continues its slow work. Species shift. Some disappear. Others rise to fill empty roles. 10,000 years after humanity ends, Earth does not remember us as rulers, or destroyers, or makers, only as another layer in the ground. 1,000,000 years have passed. This is no longer history. It is geology. Every human body has returned to the elements, not as remains, as minerals. Bones dissolved into calcium, metal oxidized into dust, concrete weathered into sand indistinguishable from stone. Nothing living remembers us. No species carries our fear. No predator flinches at our shadow. No creature looks at the horizon and waits for cities to appear. Evolution has moved on. Entire branches of life have formed and vanished since our end. Species that replaced us may already be gone. Others now fill ecological roles humans once disrupted. The planet wears no scars with meaning. What we once called landmarks are unrecognizable layers in rock. Compressed, crushed, buried. Our languages are gone. Our symbols meaningless. Even our strongest myths have no interpreter. Plastic remains, but not as waste. Carbon chains altered by heat, pressure, and time become part of rock itself. A chemical fingerprint, not a warning. Radiation has faded below danger. Isotopes decay. Danger becomes memory. Memory becomes nothing. Rivers trace paths that would confuse any map we left behind. Mountains shift. Continents drift centimeters at a time. The sky looks the same. The sun rises. Stars continue burning without witnesses. Asteroids pass quietly, unconcerned. Earth does not ask where humanity went. It never needed to. 1,000,000 years after humans vanish, there is no evidence of our dominance, only proof that the planet endured without pause.